Well, that was 1 hour wasted. And then, on the 10th ring, it stopped. The sound of the bell faded away into silence. It's 10 o'clock then. Wait, it's 10 o'clock then. Ace said what each of them had been thinking. That means it's been an hour since Zero's little announcement. Seven's deep voice echoed across the room. Fuck! I've had enough of this crap. Sansa leapt to his feet, his fists clenched. How long are we gonna pussyfoot around like this? We've got 8 hours until this time limit Zero is going on about is up. Let's get going already. Go, go! Santa's outburst fell on deaf ears. No one seemed to agree with him. They stared back at him, their eyes blank and their faces tired. Finally, Lotus spoke. No, I refuse. I'm not going to end up like him. Him? You mean the ninth man? Of course. Who else? In his mind, Junpei saw the corpse again. In his mind's eye, Junpei saw the corpse again. The dark, reddish-black pool of blood. The scattered pieces of flesh. Damn. Organs strewn across the floor like the blossoming of a grotesque flower. The explosion that had torn through his body had been powerful. The ninth man's neck had been twisted at an odd angle. Junpei suspected the detonation had thrown him against the wall. Half of his face was crushed, and the other half was covered in blood. Most of his abdomen had been emptied, either by the explosion or by gravity. He had landed on his back, the stark white ribs jutting out of his chest like the legs of some sort of macabre crab. Junpei felt something flip in his stomach. I think he just screwed up. Eyebrows went up, and Santa continued. He probably set up some sort of trap, and that killed him. I'm not going to screw up like that. I'm getting out of here alive. Whatever Snake was laughing at, Santa did not find particularly humorous. What's so goddamn funny? Oh, my apologies. You were just so very confident. I couldn't help myself. What the fuck? I think you've mistaken the situation. Huh? The ninth man's death had nothing to do with a trap, or at least, not the sort of trap you imagine it did. Then, he broke one of Zero's rules. That's why he died. Quite simple if you think about it. You still don't get it. Alright, how about you take a moment and think back to what Zero said. Specifically, what did he say about the number of people? He said only 3 to 5 people can pass through one number door, right? And after that, you've forgotten the relevant part. What did Zero say? Huh? Santa furrowed his brow in thought. Junpei thought back. Zero said everyone who verified had to go. All those who entered must leave, and all who enter must contribute. Right? I think it was something like that. Whatever it was, that means that groups of less than 3 or more than 5 can't go through. That is correct. A gold star for you, Junpei. Snake inclined his head toward Junpei. The ninth man, however, broke that rule. He tried to pass through the numbered door by himself. That's why he was executed. Then Zero's watching us from somewhere, making sure we don't break any rules. Oh, I'm not so sure about that. Why not? Because this execution system is entirely automatic. You didn't notice? There's no need for him to monitor us. What do you mean? Snake looked at Seven, with what could only be described as pity, and sighed. Very well. I see it must be me who tells you. I've waited long enough, I suppose. I had hoped Zero might spare me the trouble, but that seems increasingly unlikely. He couldn't see them, of course, but perhaps Snake sensed the confused eyes upon them. When Ace spoke, he gave words to everyone else's thoughts. Do you know something? Well, I know a great many things, but yes. What is it you know? Here. Snake removed a card from the pocket of his jacket. With a flourish, he presented it to Ace, who took a close look at it and spoke. Come on now, what's the point of giving me this? Give me that! Santa snatched the card from Ace, but his expression of disgust quickly turned to one of confusion. Huh? What the hell is this? Seven tugged it out of Santa's hands. Huh, I see. The card went from Seven to Lotus, from Lotus to June, and finally to Junpei. He looked at it and understood. This is Braille. Braille, the written language for the blind. The card was covered with small, embossed bumps. Junpei could recognize it, but he certainly couldn't read it. Sorry, guys, I can't read this. Junpei handed the card back to Snake, who nodded at him with a small smirk. Okay, that was fun. So what's so important about that card? I found it in my pocket. I can only assume it is a message from Zero. From Zero? A message? What does it say? Suddenly, everyone was crowding around Snake, desperate to hear what the message said. Santa especially looked as if he was about to grab hold of Snake and shake the answers out of him. Snake raised his hand. Calm down now. No need to panic. You don't need to force me. I'll read it. Junpei swallowed hard and waited for him to start. He was not the only one. Presently, Snake began to read, his voice calm. His fingers glided over tiny bumps as he spoke. Bracelet number 2. Since you are not blessed with sight, I shall bless you, and only you, with information. I shall tell you of the function of the red, of the dead, and of the bracelet. The red is a recognition device. It will verify your number. Beside every numbered door, you will find a red. The dead is the deactivation device. It does exactly what it says. Once you've passed through the numbered door, you must use the dead to stop the detonator in your bracelet. But perhaps you are wondering, what does this detonator detonate? I'm afraid that this may be something of a surprise. I have placed a small bomb inside of you, and the people whom you are about to meet. You swallowed it while you are unconscious. I have no doubt that by the time you read this note, the bomb will have passed through your stomach and found your way into your small intestine. In other words, you will probably be unable to regurgitate it. I suggest you not try. As I mentioned before, the bracelet on your left hand contains a detonator. Think of it as a remote fuse, or timer, for the bomb in your body. There's only one condition in which will cause it to detonate. That condition is that if you enter a numbered door. That condition is that you enter a numbered door. Once you've done so, the timer will activate, no matter who you may be. You will have 81 seconds. If after that time the detonator has not been deactivated, it will send a signal to the bomb in your body, instructing it to explode. In order to deactivate the detonator, every person who verified that a number at the red must also verify their numbers at the dead. Once all numbers have been verified by the dead, you need only pull the lever at its side, and the countdown will cease. Anyone who does not verify that number at the red will find themselves unable to verify that number at the dead. See, okay, if you guys are wondering why I'm not doing the mechanical voice, it's not actually Zero talking, it's freaking Snake reading it out, so, yeah. That is to say, if you should pass through a numbered door without first verifying your numbers at the red, in 81 seconds, you will be dead. That kind of rhymes, Zero. You should write a Dr. Seuss book. You must also keep in mind that the numbered doors will close automatically after 9 seconds have passed. So long as the door is open, the dead will not function. You would do well to remember this. Lastly, Let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There's only two ways to do so. One, you escape from the ship. Two, your heart rate reaches zero. Gosh dang it. No! Close out of that. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or detects that the wearer's heartbeat has fallen to zero, it will shut down automatically. There's no way to remove your bracelet. If you attempt to force it off or disable the detonator, the bomb within you will immediately explode. Huh. That makes me wonder why it didn't explode when we first tried to freaking pull it off. This is all the information in which I can impart to you. How you choose to use it is for you to decide. If used wisely, you can eliminate those who might be a danger for you. For a time, you'll be able to control your fate. I wish you the best of luck. Snake finished reading and carefully returned the card to his pocket. The message had been lengthy, but its meaning was clear. Only those who verified their numbers at the red could pass through the numbered doors. Teams could not increase or decrease their numbers. The Reds, Deads, and Bracelets enforced the rules. They were judge, jury, and executioner. In defiance of Zero's suggestions, both Santa and Seven put fingers down their throats and began to gag. The rest stiffened. Some touched their stomachs, simply stared at their bracelets. Junpei gingerly touched his stomach. There was a bomb inside his body. The thought of it made him crazy. Wait, so does that mean if we get out, do we just, like, shit out the bomb? That's gonna be one explosive diarrhea, let me tell you what. His stomach felt oddly hollow and his legs were weak. Why had Zero designed such a ludicrous game? Junpei looked over at the others. Alright, I'm gonna ask one more time. Do any of you know about Zero? They were all silent, each person waiting to hear what the others would say. Finally, Santa spoke. Actually, I saw him. I saw Zero when I got grabbed. I didn't see his face, though. Son of a bitch was wearing some kind of gas mask. What the hell? Come on, guys, give me something. You know, like surprise or something. Instead, it was Santa who was looking surprised. There was a moment of silence, then everyone spoke at once. Yeah, I saw him too. Me too. He was wearing a gas mask. All stories were sorted out. The truth became clear. All the stories were the same. They had been abducted at home at midnight. The person claiming to be Zero had worn a mask. There had been white smoke. Then each person had passed out. When they awoke, they found themselves on D deck in a room with 3-level bunk bed. Only 7 stories seemed to lack detail of the others. Oh, me? Yeah, well, mine was just like the rest of yours. And that's all he said. It had occurred to Junpei at the time, then it sounded somewhat strange, but he didn't push the issue. I'm thinking that Seven knows more than he's freaking letting on, mate. He hadn't done so because there was something that struck him as even stranger. There was the mystery of the relationship between Snake and Clover. For some reason, they had been adopted from the same room and woken up in the same room. Junpei looked at them thoughtfully. So, what's the deal with the two of you, anyway? It was Clover who answered. Clearly, she felt she had nothing to hide. We're siblings. Siblings? Yes. Snake is my older brother, obviously. That means I'm his little sister. Is that really so hard to understand? Junpei was taken aback. The other seemed just as surprised. She is correct, of course. He laid his hand on Clover's shoulder. Are you surprised? Well, yeah, but... Why? There are other people here with connections to one another. Those two, for instance. Snake pointed at Junpei and June. Oh, you mean Jumpy and me? Yes. You did say you were childhood friends, didn't you? Well, went to school together? Yeah. June glanced at Junpei, uncomfortable with the sudden attention. Junpei felt somewhat nervous as well, and tried to scratch his head as casually as possible. Hey, you think we maybe figure out who Zero is this way? Yeah, you're right. You connect the dots between the victims, And that leads you to the perp. Textbook. Textbook stuff. Junpei June. Doesn't that... Doesn't any of this... Junpei, June. Does any of this ring a bell? Ring a bell. Ring a bell? They looked at one another. And like it was staged, they both tilted their neck at the same time. Well, perhaps you went to school with the son of a multimillionaire. A millionaire? Son? Well, someone's bought this boat and... Well, someone's bought this boat and set up all of this. Whoever Zero is, they must be incredibly rich. Well, we can't be sure. Well, we can't be sure of that. To me, this seems as though it's the work of an organization, not an individual. Zero is most likely simply the representative of a larger group. What sort of organization? It could be a number of things. An army, perhaps, or a research group. Perhaps this is some sort of psychological experiment. If it is, then it's one pretty fucked up experiment. I mean, come on, guy. Come on. A guy's dead. The word dead hung in the air, heavy and ominous. The room went quiet again. I don't know what the hell the Zero asshole is, but I know he's gotta be pretty fucked up in the head to do all this. If it was all one guy, he's got some serious issues. Even with the specter of death hanging over them, the discussions continued for some time. In the end, however, they learned nothing. By the time they finished, 1.5 of their hours were gone. All they had to show for it was impatience. Man, look, we only got 7.5 hours left, okay? You really sure you want to just sit around? No one was willing to argue this time. Very well, then. There's only one way for us to proceed. Not sure it's going to be fun running, or not gonna be fun running, knowing we gotta jump when Hero says jump. Well, it's stupid to sit around here doing nothing. Thanks to Snake's card, at least we have some idea of how this all works. Correct, and so long as we follow the rules, we will most likely be alright. But what? Who's going to go in which door? June looked toward the numbered doors. Oh shit, there's another freaking decision. Oh yeah, that's right. We can't have any more than 5 people in one door. All 8 of us can't go in the same door. Then it would seem we have to split up. Wait. Lotus looked terrified. I'm telling you right now, there's no way in hell I'm going into door number 5. Come now, don't be selfish. Call me whatever the hell you want. I'm not going in there. If I'm going to have to walk through all that blood, then I'd rather stay here. And we were doing so well. Ace shook his head sadly. Sorry, but I ain't going in there either. Someone else can go into door 5. Oh, Santa, not you too. Hey man, I just bought these shoes. If you think I'm getting some creepy dude's blood all over you, you gotta think again. You got another thing. I think that's a typo. You got another thing coming. That was the last straw. What the hell, man? Weren't you the one who kept saying we should get going? Yeah. So? Doesn't mean I wanted to go into door 5. Oh, God. There was an awkward silence. Finally, 7 spoke. Fine. I'll go into door 5. I can't go in there alone, though. Anyone else willing to come with me? There was another long silence. This time, Snake was the one to break it. I'll go. What? Wait, what? Don't worry, you'll be fine. We may part now, but I'm certain we'll meet again later. How do you know that? Because I do. That's not an answer. If you're going, I'm going too. I'm going into door 5. What am I going to do with you? There's nothing you have to do. Ace stepped forward. If I join you, the problem is solved, correct? 7 is 7, and Snake is 2. And if you add Clover's 4 and my 1, the digital root will be 5. 7 plus 2 plus 4 plus 1 equals 14. Oh, it works perfectly. The 4 of us can go into door 5. Wait, what about the other 4? What's their digital root gonna be? Junpei did a quick mental calculation. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei remained. Their bracelet numbers were 8, 3, 6, and 5. What would that digital root be? Oh, crap. Hold on, I've got to get my calculator out, mate. Oh, great. I've got to get my calculator out. Hold on. Let me quickly do my calculations here on my phone. So 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals 22. It would be 4. Yep. 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 5 equals 22. 2 plus 2 equals 4. He repeated what he had already determined. It's 4. Add up our 4 bracelet numbers and the digital root is 4. Then we can go into door 4. Yeah, that worked out well. Junpei ran over the team assignments in his head one more time. 4 people would go into door 5. 7, Snake, Clover, and Ace. 4 people would go into door 4. Lotus, Santa, June, and Junpei. Junpei had to ask himself if the teens were really what he wanted. Beyond door 5 was what remained of the 9th man. He never wanted to see that thing again, but something in him said it would be unwise not to examine the corpse even a little closer. Of course, if he went through door 5, he wouldn't be going with Lotus and Santa. True, it would be possible for him to bring June with him through door 5, but that would mean she would have to see the horrific carnage that waited there. Junpei didn't want that. Junpei was torn. Should he stay silent and go through door 4, or should he stop them all and insist on door 5? As he turned the options over and over in his mind, Ace spoke up. Alright then. It seems we've reached a conclusion. Shall we go? He began to walk towards door 5. Clover and Snake followed, with 7 a short distance behind. Junpei, which door do you want to go through? Nah, man, I think door 4 will be fine, man. We don't need to go there. We don't need to go to freaking 5. Don't worry about it. We don't need to go there, mate. Decided that door 4 would be fine. He would go through door 4 with Lotus, Santa, and June. Why had Junpei even considered doing otherwise? He would be there for June, for Akane Kurashiki. That seemed good. He felt it was the right choice to make. He made no shows of affection, but Junpei saw her as something more than just a friend from his childhood. Friend zone. Nah, man. He watched the other 4 walk toward their door. Man, if I was, man, I remember this one girl in my elementary school. Name was freaking, I don't even remember her name. Shania, I think it was. Whew. That was actually, she was not bad. She was not bad for an elementary schooler. Let me tell you what. When my 3rd grade ass was all over that, but okay, that's enough of my creepy experiences. He watched the other 4 walk toward their door. Ace, Snake, Clover, and 7. Junpei said nothing as they left. Before long, they had reached door 5. They talked to one another for a few seconds, saying things Junpei couldn't hear, and then laid their hands, one by one, on the scanner panel of the red. 7, 2, 4, and 1. Ace grabbed the lever, his face tight with determination. He turned over his shoulder and looked at Junpei and his companions. Goodbye. Be careful. Time to go in with the dead freaking body. This is gonna be fun. As Ace pulled the lever, the door swung open. The mouth of a great hungry beast beyond the door, Junpei knew, lay the sad remains of the ninth man. It did not surprise him that Ace, Clover, and Seven hesitated. The body was not a pleasant thing. Snake had still no such problems, but his blindness made him immune to horror. As his blindness made him immune to the horror. Dude, but like his freaking smell, his sense of smell has to be like freaking way freaking like intensified, right? He stepped forward this door, his feet making a wet splack in the pool of blood. Do you intend to kill me? I assume you haven't forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you? Snake had not even bothered to turn around, but the three steeled themselves and they would step through the door. Bye, guys. Hope you guys don't die. Door 5 swung shut, closing with a heavy finality of metal upon metal. Junpei and his companions scrambled to the door. They pressed their ears to it in an attempt to hear what might be taking place on the other side. It's beeping. It's just like before. Probably the sound of the detonator on the bracelet. Do you think they're okay? June's face showed her concern more plainly than her words ever could. Almost as though in response to her question, a voice rang out from the other side of the door. It was Seven. Hey! Wait. Seven. Oh. Hey, there it is. That's gotta be the dead thing. Come on, get over here. We gotta authenticate. The beeping stopped. The signs of relief were audible even through the heavy door. Phew. Looks like it stopped. Junpei and his companions leaned away from the door and breathed a collective sigh of relief of their own. Hey guys, are you alright over there? They heard Seven's voice, but it wouldn't hurt to be sure. Yep, we're fine. Despite the recent danger, Clover's voice was as bubbly as ever. Oh, hey, I'm gonna tell you about this whole dead thing, okay? The dead is just like the red, but the color's different. You know how the red was red? Well, the dead is blue. Other than that, it's just like the red. Authenticating is the same too. Awesome, thanks, that helps a lot. Well, we should probably move on now. You be careful out there. Roger that. Alright guys, and that's where I'm gonna end things, right there. So, I hope that you guys, this is a pretty good place to end things, I think. With them going into door number 5, and us about to head into door number 4, I think that this is just as good a time as any to end this first session, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this first session, I guess, chapter in this amazing dark story. Definitely some crap's going down in this game. So I'm excited to see what the puzzles have. I'm excited to see what the story has. I'm excited to see some character development. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. So hope that you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you guys liked it. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye. 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 Bye.